We are definitely getting skein number 5 finished today. Woo!
Yay for the yarn! Squish! Gone!
Okay, it's Thursday night, and I've been plying. Did I start yesterday? I think I started yesterday. Anyways, I've been playing today. 4th skein, and I was playing Bobbin Chicken, and I definitely lost at Bobbin Chicken on this one. I was curious to see how much of this bobbin that I could use up. It was so close. Let's see. So this is the 4th skein, so I'll skein that tomorrow, and then I guess I should count and weigh the 3rd and the 4th skein because I didn't do that. Which means, okay, today's Thursday, so we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if I can get one bobbin filled tomorrow on Friday and a second bobbin filled on Saturday and then plied on Sunday, maybe we'll get 5 skeins in total. Just by looking at it, obviously that's quite a much smaller pile of fluff there. And then let's see, I think there's only like 10 or 12 roll bags left. 6, 8, 10, yeah, 12 of those guys left, and that little pile, plus the bats that I haven't touched yet. Okay, so let's see, I should weigh how much of all these that I have left. It looks like my battery is low. So I guess I'll have to wait it till tomorrow when I can get a replacement battery. So obviously I may need some of the mats to finish with this guy, but definitely not all of them. And I guess we'll just fingers crossed that I can get one more skein done. Hopefully that should be most of this. Hopefully. It's exciting. In the middle there, I was feeling like this is never gonna I'm never gonna get anywhere. Now it looks like maybe, just maybe, I might finish my goal. Sunday, last day of the tour. Okay, Friday I finished filling up this bobbin. I have this much of that top left. So we spun most of it. Let's see, and looks like 11, 10. I'll call it 10. 10 grams. 10 grams that we didn't get spun. Okay, and then I also, Saturday, I finished filling up this bobbin. I finished spinning all my little Rolags, and I used part of one of the bats I made. So I guess really I could have just spun all the bats and probably wouldn't have needed those Rolags. We still need to measure and weigh skein number 3. I still need to skein off number 4. But first, I need to see if I can ply skein number 5 today. Yeah, so I'm gonna get started plying, and then hopefully we can get this finished today, and then we'll do totals of everything. Yeah. I suppose now that we're coming to the end of the tour, even though I'm not quite finished completely with this project, I do have some thoughts, about how this has been going. And let's see, I am really totally excited about how visually this yarn is turning out. I think it's going to be such a fun sweater. But spinning this large amount, so sweater spin quantity, even though only half of it has been this commercially prepared fiber, it just really enforces my love of home prepared fibers. They just have so much more life to them than the very flattened out commercial prep. I haven't really bought any fiber from a small mill, so I may have to try that just to see, because I have a feeling it's going to be more in between the two. But yeah, I just love fiber that I've prepped myself. Where was I? Thoughts on the spin. Yes, definitely still love prepping my own fibers from fleece to spin. Makes me happy. I'm thinking, so obviously I'm going to have a lot of this coral left over because I've still got, 8 bats or something to spin. So I figure I will spin those up and then maybe do at least some of them as a 3-ply. I think it's probably going to take a 3-ply of this to be similar to in grist size to this stuff. Yeah. So if I do some 3-ply of this more solid coral, I think that would be really fun for the neck band, the sleeve bands, and the bottom bands for a sweater. And I am going to have to, obviously get the totals and figure out if I'm going to need more yardage than just this stuff anyways. But definitely I think that would look really nice with the solid color as for contrast. I'm also pretty happy with the amount of I should be ecstatic about the amount of spinning I've done, even though I feel like it's not enough. Is it ever enough? Probably not. I definitely have all the yarn spun for 5 skeins in a 3-week time period, and that's probably the most I've ever spun that quickly. Because I started spinning when my oldest daughter was 3, and then I had younger daughter, and yeah, so most my spinning journey has all been with small children. They're slowly growing up, but they are still, elementary school age. I never envisioned myself as the mostly full-time stay-at-home mom. I always envisioned myself as, having a career that was meaningful to me. And we chose to have kids because I couldn't really figure out the whole meaningful career thing. Turns out I was better at school than, career stuff. I've since learned about myself. I should have realized this about myself a long time ago, but I didn't. I only have so much mental and physical energy and stamina. I wish I was a super high energy person, but I'm not. And I only have so much focus. So I could have, either had a meaningful career or had a family, but I realized I just really don't have the energy and stamina and whatever else, to do both. And I mean, obviously, if I had to make ends meet, I think that would be a different story, but I'm lucky enough to be in a position where, I can make that decision based on what's best for our family's happiness and not just have to make it a solely economic decision. I feel lucky to be able to, have that choice. Not that we're incredibly wealthy or anything. Our expenses are low enough and our lifestyle is moderate enough that it's fine. I mean, sure, if I worked full time, then maybe I could make that farm in the country a reality, right? But then I'd be so tired and exhausted and have no desire for animals or spending time with my kids and all the things that I would want to do with more money. So, what's the point? And I admire people who do have the energy to make all those things work, but I don't. So I'll just be, happy with what I do have and still lament the fact that even though I've done more spinning in a shorter time than I've really ever focused on before, I still wish that it was more. And I probably would have hurt myself and not been able to spin for like 4 or 5 months. Probably better this way. It's better this way, right? Yes. Spinning in more moderation so that I don't injure myself, so that I can get consistent output, even if it's not I sat and spun all day for 6 hours like my brain thinks that it wants to. Yeah, 1 or 2 hours a day consistently is gonna give me better output than a few days of crazy spin, 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 and then I hurt myself and can't spin for months. Yes. So, long and short of the rambly rant that I just went on that I may or may not actually include in this video is that although I haven't quite spun as much as I hoped to, right? Because I hoped that I would get all this whole spin done in like 2 weeks and be able to do some other fun spins, which is really a really unrealistic hope. And I knew that going in, but so my unrealistic hope was that I would get all this sweater spin done in like 2 weeks and then have a week or so to do like fun random spins, such as the gift that I've gotten. My more, I guess, moderate hope was that I would just, fully complete the sweater spin. But honestly, my real expectation was that I would not get as far as I did. So even if I'm like, oh, I feel a little disappointed because I didn't get as much done as I hoped to, in reality, I'm like stoked that I got done the most that I've spun. So, how's your Tour de Fleece turned out? Did it turn out the way you hoped or thought it did? Or are you disappointed? Or I don't know, how you feeling? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Yeah. And I suppose in the end, the only thing that's kind of like, making me feel disappointed is this, not even a real comparison, I don't know, the idea in my head of this mythical spinner who can sit and spin like 6 to 8 hours a day and just get so much yarn spun, which I don't know, does such a spinner exist? I'm sure there are spinners who can do that and who have the time and ability to do that. But, I just try and remind myself, well, even if I did have the time, as in, like my kids were in school or whatever, I don't have the physical ability to do that because I would hurt myself. Okay, well, I didn't keep track of how long I've been playing, but look, we're getting close to a full bobbin. I'm gonna go inside now because my husband and kids are hanging out, so I'm gonna go finish plying this inside. But I definitely think we're gonna get this. I definitely think we are definitely getting skein number 5 finished today. Woo! I probably won't end up getting around to weighing and measuring all this until tomorrow. Well, okay. I'll tell you what. I am definitely gonna skein off skein number 4 and maybe number 5. But I will see you tomorrow morning to officially weigh and measure, and we'll tally up all the totals and all that. Because I don't think it's going to happen that I'm going to get that all done and filmed today. But I definitely so happy that we're going to get skein number 5 finished. Woo! It's not Monday, but I did finally count everything up. Yay! Here is the grand total of all the yarn I spun during 2025 Tour de Fleece. Approximately 1,268 yards. And it weighs, let's see, 29 ounces or 1.8 pounds. So, of those 1,268 yards, we have 5 big skeins. And plus 1 mini skein. And 1 tiny chain ply that I tested. That's just the coral. It's like 0.8 ounces. Tiny 34 yard skein. But yeah, so this is all my yarn. Ah! I know, don't fall down and get dirty. Bad yarn. Ah! Dropping all the yarn. Too many yarns. Okay, get back in the basket. Okay, so it ended up all about Aaron weight yarn. It's all fairly close. Not exactly the same grist, but fairly close. So I think it'll all work really nicely together in the sweater. I'm so excited. Then I just have to look up, I've been looking at patterns. I have to decide on a pattern and whether it's roughly 1,200 yards is enough for my size. I feel like it's cutting it close, depending on how cropped it is. Honestly, it would be more than enough for like a vest, something sleeveless. And I tend to, with it being Aran weight, why do I have just Aran weight yarn? Why do I have such a trouble? Like, I just want to say how it's written, but it's blah. Okay, with it being thicker yarn, I definitely probably want long sleeves, because if it's cold enough for me to want a thicker sweater, then it's going to be cold enough for me to want sleeves. Unless I did it sleeveless for it to be like a vest. Decisions. Yeah, I think that's about it. We're like, yay for the yarns. And I'm excited to get knitting. Although I do have a few projects I'm trying to finish knitting before I start on this. Plus, I really have to wash the rest of these skeins. I only washed the first 2. So, I need to finish the yarn, finish some projects, and then, stay tuned for hopefully just in a few months, fall time. Hopefully, we'll see the sweater plan. We'll see how much the plan comes to. I'm thinking now that Tour de Fleece is over, I really should get to some of the sewing projects that I've been wanting to do. I got some really nice linen fabric last year that I haven't sewed up yet. And I also have some knit wool jersey that I want to make some shirts out of, t-shirts. So that's what I'm thinking. But we'll see what I can get done in this last month before school starts, because my children also want me to make projects for them and do projects with them. So may not get much done until fall time. If you like this project and you want to, get a notification when I finally knit it up, be sure to hit subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
escona. La escona es muy bonita. Mira, la escona muy bonita. Esa es ella es boca y sus ojos y su, su back. Y es muy delicioso.
Muy delicioso. Delicioso. Delicious. Delicious.
I'm just trying to get us a couple of clips. Make your scones. We want to put our beautiful scones on the internet.
Who says they're gonna get on the internet?
Me.
Oh, live stream. I choose what I edit.
No. Put it in without this audio. And you can do a voiceover talking about how your children wanted to interrupt you with their beautiful scones. Please do it.